All right. Good morning. Welcome to the second episode of the weekly Rapp with Vachon and Rapp. I am Frank Rapp,
I am at Vachon.
and we are here just to chat like we did yesterday, and we're gonna keep doing this once a week, sometimes twice a week. Like today, we figured we're both off today. We figured we would just start. We do another podcast just to do it because hey, what the hell? We have nothing else better to do. So
Yeah. The first one was that was more of a biographical piece. We didn't, we were just talking that, from here on out, we'll probably have, you know, more specific topics.
yeah,
But
well, we hope.
yeah,
Full, full disclosure, the two other guys that went with us to the Pritchard show were our friends Justin and Scott, and we forgot to mention
yes.
them yesterday. So I wanted to give them
Uh,
a proper shout out first thing on the podcast this morning to say, yes, they were with us too. They were the other two in the car. So
yes.
just so feelings don't get hurt
Yeah.
or anything like that. So
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
okay, so yesterday was NFL playoffs, and we will start with the Bucks and the Saints.
Yeah.
I texted you, I think, early first quarter and went, "This game sucks."
Yeah.
It it was
Yeah.
not great. Um, they both started out really slow, and then it seemed to pick up there. And like the end, towards the end of the second quarter, it was tied at 13 and a half, right?
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
And then what happened to Breeze in the second half?
Um. Just more of like what happened in the first time, except yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't have the stats in front of me, but his completion percentage was garbage, and I mean he was missing people all day, so you know keep missing people, it's going to end up in the other team's hands at some point. So uh yeah, just yeah, it was kind of bad. It was one of those things where I think um, if they wanted a better chance at winning, they probably should have put it in Winston. But I think at that point, that potentially being his last game, I think the Saints were more ready to go down with the ship, in dedication of his, time served than it was to about winning the game. Yeah.
Do you really think he's going to retire?
I think so. I thought, I know he was banged up this year, but, I saw a lot of similarities this year between him and Peyton Manning's last year, where, for somebody who was always very accurate, and then all of a sudden, they're missing, you know, 10-yard passes, and, things like that. And, the that last championship he won that last year, I mean, that the defense carried the team. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, for sure.
so and this year, I mean, and the Saints defense was good. I think they relied pretty heavily on the defense this year. So I see a lot of similarities, I think. And nobody wants to go out like he went out yesterday, but um, at the same time, why come back and potentially fall further off that cliff? I don't know if anybody wants that.
True. And the thing is too is Winston threw that touchdown pass of like 50 something yards, and
Yeah,
Breeze couldn't even get it down the field that far because all his passes were short and under. That pass he threw
yeah,
to Kamara, like I don't know what they were doing, but Kamara was gone, and then Breeze threw it short, and it was an easy pick for Tampa, and then that was it. Really, the game was over at that point.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they weren't in sync, and Michael, credit to Buccaneers defense, they played really well, but I mean, Michael Thomas didn't even have one reception.
Right.
The compared to, you look at him last year, where all the receptions he had last year, and now he's getting completely taken out of games. So uh yeah, I don't know. Just yeah, that offensively, with the exception of Kamara, um, I don't know. The Saints offense just didn't look too great this year to
Traquan,
me.
Traquan Smith looked good though in his first
Yeah,
game back in
yeah,
3 games.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, he potentially, he's a big play guy. Good speed, and um, but yeah, kind of like when they had Ted Ginn, and one of those guys is just can outrun everybody.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Now on Tampa side, does Tampa go into Green Bay and give them a game or what?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think they beat him pretty handily earlier in the season, but I believe that was at home, and uh, but I don't know. Football it's a lot like the NHL where it's the hot team that always seems to do well. You could so you look at the last five like Tampa Bay games, they've been great. Um, and they're hot. I mean, in Green Bay is pretty good too, but in the NHL, it's like whoever gets the hot goalie, like that team, doesn't matter who they are. If they're Vegas, or it doesn't matter who they are, they can, they'll be
That's
right
true.
there. But um, so Tampa Bay is just playing so hot right now. They're finally clicking offensively, like so. Um, I think it'll be a great game.
And the thing is too now with no fans really, even though there were some fans in Green Bay yesterday, there's not a home
Yeah,
field advantage anymore because the places aren't packed. Um,
yeah,
and so that takes advantage away from the home team, I think,
yeah.
when it comes to that.
Yeah, the weather will be a factor, though. I think they're already kind of calling for snow and like 24 degrees or something like that.
Well,
So
Brady's used to that, so
Brady will be fine. So's other guys.
yeah, true. Well, yeah, because I don't know if yeah, that's true. Well, Antonio Brown's used to it because he played in Pittsburgh
Yeah, and Gronk and
and Gronk. Yeah, so like a lot of that team is used to it, but like you said, the other half isn't. So
yeah,
it
and really a lot of it's a pretty young team, and a lot of those guys. I mean, even some of the guys have been on the team for a while. They don't play this late into the season, so,
no,
so so yeah. But who knows? Who knows?
it's all up in the air, and my dogs are
Yeah,
barking, so whatever,
yeah,
it's fine. Um, so now we'll move on to the first game of the day yesterday. Browns and Chiefs.
yeah,
Um, oh Cleveland, oh Cleveland, you had every
yeah,
opportunity to win that game.
yeah.
You fumble on the goal line at the end of the first half. And that was yesterday was the anniversary of the Ernest Biner fumble in '87
Oh,
against
really?
Denver. Yeah. Um,
Wow.
so imagine if they would have scored there, and then Mahomes gets hurt, and then Cleveland had that long drive at the end of the third, beginning of fourth, and Cleveland would have been winning that game at that point.
Yeah.
But instead, they fumble, and then Kansas City holds on to win. But the real question is, does Mahomes play next week or this coming week? Um,
Yeah, yeah, I think I I think he does, but it's not like it used to be, it's not like yeah, give them a few days and they can play. Now it's like no, you have to like officially clear all these hurdles before, it's totally independent now.
mhm.
So um I still I don't know.
If he
I think
doesn't
he played, but you never
if he
know.
doesn't play, they lose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, Buffalo's. I mean, they're legit. I mean, they've looked great all year, and the knock on that division was always for the Patriots. They would always say, well, yeah, but they play in the AFC East. There's nobody. That's the reason why they're so good. But same division. But I mean, that division, with the exception of the Jets, have improved, and the Patriots took a downgrade this year, for
True.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, but but Buffalo's good. Buffalo's a legit team. Like both sides of the ball, and Josh Allen's fun to watch. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, they could easily get stumped by Buffalo. Without Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes.
If Pat doesn't play, they're screwed.
Yeah,
Chad Henne, like, you're a
yeah,
journeyman quarterback. You've been around a long time. Um, you know, the run he made on 3rd and 14 where he almost picked it up was insane. And
yeah,
then Andy Reid has balls
yeah,
probably this big to go for it on that 4th down and pick it up.
yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. Like
Yeah,
to throw
larger than
it,
that
to throw
anything.
it on 4th down too.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like that doesn't happen. Like he just knows his team, and when he left Philly, went there out there, he's had nothing but success. So
yep,
I mean,
yep.
he knows what he's doing. I wish the Eagles still would have kept him, but it is what it is.
I heard they're bringing back Chip Kelly.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
No.
I mean, you can't. I mean, but what? Yeah, sure. Let's just do that then. Let's give Chip Kelly the keys to the castle once again, and then it all goes to shit.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, that's it was crazy. Really, both games. Playmakers were taken out of. I mean, we're talking about I mean, both days, not games. Saturday and Sunday, like, uh, key players were taken out of the game because of concussions.
Yeah,
Jackson, Baltimore game, uh, and then Mahomes obviously in the Chiefs game, and I mean, and not to mention all the members of the Bills Mafia who are slightly concussed from going through all those tables.
that's true. That's true.
So it was like concussion weekend.
It was. It was.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
It was a good day for Michigan quarterbacks, though. Chad Henne and Tom Brady.
that's right. I forgot Chad Henne played at Michigan.
Yeah.
Wow, you're pretty good with that one. Good.
My team.
It's stat of the day right there.
Yeah.
All right, so Saturday's games, we had the first game was the Packers and the Rams. How good is Aaron Rodgers? Like, really? Like,
yeah, he's been on fire all year. I had him on my fantasy team, and I mean, he pretty much carried me all the way to the championship game, which I lost.
You lost in the championship too?
Yeah. But I didn't accept the results, so.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah. So. I mean, I still lost, but.
Yeah, I lost by like one or two I think I lost by one fantasy point, maybe two in the championship.
Yeah, I got beat by probably like 20, but
I'd rather lose by 20 than lose by one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Because he had Derrick Henry, which
Oh yeah, he had a huge
Yeah, that first week. So.
Where do the Rams go from here? They're losing their defensive coordinator to the Chargers, which. Yep. He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to basically just move from one office to the next. So
yeah,
I think that's going to hurt them because they had the best scoring defense in the league. I think they only gave up like 18 points a game. What do you do now? What do you do? Like, how do you rebuild this team with no salary cap relief?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as long as Aaron Donald's there and Jalen Ramsey. On the defensive side of the ball, I think they'll be okay. Offensively, I don't know. It's I mean, they have good receivers in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, but the running game is hit or miss. Jared Goff is hit or miss. The offensive line is getting older. I don't know. I mean, I think they'll still compete, but I don't know. There'll be some moves in the offseason, I'm sure, to free up cap space But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
But, I mean, well, I guess we're going to just have to wait and see, just like everything else. Now we're in wait and see mode till, Super Bowl gets here. Then after that, that's when the real fun begins for the next what?
Yeah.
7 months until July.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Because if you think about it, football is now 365 now. It's all the time.
Yeah.
There's an off season, but there's not an off season when it comes to all these reporters reporting stuff about different moves and different players and stuff like that. So
yeah, it used to be like draft time. It was me and I know maybe a handful of other people that would sit there and watch every round. And I used to have notebooks where I'd write every pick down, because you couldn't easily access it on the internet, so
right.
I'd write down every name and everything and put a star next to if I thought it was a good pick and all that. But now it's like, it's primetime television, and it gets, this thing gets a ton of viewers just to watch. I mean, we're talking like people watching the 6th, 7th round. They're still like glued to it. So it's so big. Like it's so big now.
Yeah, it's so global. Way more global than it was before, and it's just, and they've made so much money, and more power to them, I guess.
Yep.
I wish it was us, but it's not. So
yeah, it's not.
It's not. It's not. So the last game on Saturday was Ravens Bills, and that was ugly. That was an ugly game. Both offenses struggled. The saving grace for Buffalo was that 101-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
That totally swung that game. And then I think the next series Lamar went out.
Yeah.
and then that was
Yeah,
it.
pretty close. Yeah. 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 Yeah, that was it. I mean, it's Baltimore's a good team, but man, like Jackson is so important to
Oh,
that
he's their
offense.
whole team.
Yeah, he's uh I mean, not many teams have, the Swiss Army knife like that just can do whatever, but yeah, unfortunately he went out, but it was nice to see, like the Buffalo fans, they raised, I think I saw yesterday like over like 75,000 for his one of his charities or something,
Yeah, I
out of
saw that.
respect.
Yeah,
Um, so that was good, um, but yeah, that was a tough game to watch.
it was. It was. It was. I got home and turned it on, and I'm like, oh, this game's over. So,
Yeah,
but we got two good games coming up on Sunday. We have
yeah,
Tampa and Green Bay, and then we have the Bills and Chiefs.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
we'll give our predictions on Sunday. But I
yeah,
mean, this will be the week. This whole week will be the whole headline will be, "Will Pat Mahomes play?" And that's all we're
yeah,
going to hear until Sunday.
yeah, yeah,
Um, they're not going to talk about how good Josh Allen's been all year. They're not going to talk about how good Aaron Rodgers has been, or what Tom Brady's doing at 43. Like, it's all going to be, "Hey, will Pat Mahomes play?" And that's all we're going to hear. And it's going to get so fucking annoying, and it's going to drive me nuts
yeah, yeah,
because that's what they focus on. They focus on one story, and
yeah,
they'll dumb it down our throats, and we're all going to be like, "Oh my god!" And then we'll see what happens. I mean, if he doesn't play, they're going to lose, and
yeah,
I'll be the first one to say it here. They're going to lose. They're scarier with Mahomes. They're not scary with Henny. He's not. Henny is not Mahomes. Mahomes will eat you up, and every chance he can.
yeah,
And if Mahomes plays, that game will be a shootout.
yeah, yeah. I think so too.
That'll be like a 38-34, 38-35, something. It'll be like a last second field goal. We'll win that game because I
Yeah,
see both offenses just going down there and scoring just about every time.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
Allen's scary good, and so is Mahomes. So
yep, yeah. I mean, both kind of similar skill set. They
yeah,
both have long arms and both are pretty mobile when needed to be. And but yeah, it'll yeah. I'm really excited for all these games. As a Patriot fan, it's we've had like a 20-year run where usually we're still involved, and I always and people are like, oh, it's you guys are so lucky, and I'm like, no, I'm like miserable. Like those games are so high stress for me that I'm just like so miserable because they're all close and everything else, and so for you know. On an anxiety level, I'm happy to not have a team, in- still out there. But I'm kind of pulling for Tampa Bay just because uh, I'm a 39-year-old man with a Tom Brady pillowcase, and so um,
Hmm.
yeah,
that raises some eyebrows right now.
so, but he's my favorite player ever.
Yeah.
So I'll pull for him. But really, I love both of these games. I'm
Mhm.
really excited. Who win lose. I don't really care. I'm just really excited for these two games.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm an Eagles fan. Have been for a long time. We haven't had as much success as the Patriots, but we did beat you in the Super Bowl a couple years
Yeah,
ago,
you
which
got
was which was great. And then we haven't done shit since. But hey, whatever, it's fine. Um, but I just love football, and I'm looking
it.
forward. I'm surprised we were able to get a season in.
Yeah, well, me too. Especially the way it kind of started. I was like, I said, no way. I said, if they're not doing the bubble like the NBA did and the NHL did, I said, it's gonna be whole teams are gonna be shut down. And we saw some of that, but I mean, certainly I thought, they were gonna have to shut down everything for a month at
Mhm.
some point and try to and come back and try it again. But they got through it. They did a good job of
They did.
making it work.
Yeah, the only thing that really sucked was when Tennessee was, shut down for those what was it, couple 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Cleveland got it really bad before their playoff game against Pittsburgh, but that didn't matter because they went into Pittsburgh and tronched the crap out of them. So
Yeah. Yeah. So um yeah, but yeah, so I was pretty impressed. They did pretty well, considering. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
considering.
some team, we saw, some team like, I think it was the Saints at one point had like no active running backs.
Yeah, yeah, and Denver
You
had no active quarterbacks that one game too. Remember
Yeah,
that? Yeah,
yeah.
against
So
the
I mean,
Saints.
you
Yeah.
saw stuff like that. Yeah, but overall, they did a pretty good job. So
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from the NFL, we're going to talk a little bit about NBA, which we haven't talked about yet. So Harden forced his way out of Houston and is now a Net, and
yeah,
the Nets gave up a haul to get him. I think
yep,
it was three first round picks from them, a first round pick from Milwaukee, and then four pick swaps for
yeah,
James Harden,
yeah,
who comes to the Nets, who they were good before, but Kyrie went AWOL because he's a nut, and I think the Nets panicked and they had to make a move.
yeah.
And this is the move they made. I feel they gave up their future, just like they did a couple. What was it? 10 years? No, was it? Is it? Has it been 10 years or was it short? Maybe 8 years where they gave up all
Yeah,
the
they get
for Pierce
Pierce
and
and Garnett.
Garnett
Yeah,
and Jason Terry, right?
yeah, yeah. After he got the Celtics tattoo. So, yeah, I mean, pretty similar idea, So different year, same Nets, but um, yeah, I don't, we've touched on it before that I mean, it's either going to be like that big three is either going to be, you know, lights out and unstoppable, or it's going to be a total train wreck. And
Hmm.
I don't know if there probably won't be an in between.
No,
But
and Kyrie's the wild card.
yeah,
You saw Saturday night Harden dropped a triple double in his debut.
yeah,
He
yeah,
had 30 points and like 12 assists and 12 rebounds or something like that. And Durant had 42. They scored
yeah,
and assisted on 107 of their points.
yeah, yeah.
You throw
It's insane.
Kyrie coming back. You throw Kyrie in the mix. They're scary, but they still
Yeah,
don't play defense. They
yeah,
still have no one that can rebound. And they're not going to beat the Lakers in the finals. I'm sorry, they're not.
yeah. No, yeah, yeah. I mean, the Lakers are more together, like
Oh yeah,
so better team chemistry. But yeah, you never know. It's Yeah, I don't know. It's we haven't seen officially what it's going to be like yet until Kyrie comes back. So,
yeah.
but
But the question is, they play today. Does Kyrie play tonight? Because they play Milwaukee tonight on Martin Luther King Day. Because today is Martin
yeah,
Luther King Day.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Because he was at that party and nobody was wearing masks and all that stuff. So he's in like their protocol or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah. They
I
fined
I
him
don't
and
know.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's kind of it's kind of a relief to see someone because a lot of we work like 9 to 5 jobs or whatever. We're basic, and it's pretty common for one of us to be like, oh my god, I hate my job. Like this sucks. So it's kind of nice to see like someone like Kyrie, who's like $1 million athlete, who also is just like, I hate my job.
Right, right, right. But the problem with that is he hates his job, but he's making millions of dollars to do his
Yeah,
job. Just
yeah.
shut up and play basketball because that's what you're paid for. If you don't want to play, then just retire and just do whatever you want. I
I
mean,
think he'll be one of those guys that does like retire
yeah,
early and just like, yeah, I'm just gonna go do something else. Like the money's nice, but I don't think he's driven by money at all. I think
no.
he plays basketball because he's good at it, and,
Hmm.
and so I think he would probably rather do something else. But
Well, when you show up on a Zoom call for the new district attorney of New York while your team is playing a game, that's a problem.
yeah,
I mean, if I didn't go to work and I showed up on a Zoom call after school for a staff meeting, I'm sure that
yeah,
wouldn't go over very well.
yeah,
If we
for
had an
sure.
it's like if I got an email and it said, "Oh, we have a staff meeting at 3 o'clock," and I called in sick, and then I show up on the staff meeting, I don't really think that's going to go over very well. Oh yeah, yeah, she's here.
Are you filming? Are you filming?
So I mean,
Yeah.
But again, I don't make millions of dollars. I make not even
Yeah.
close to that. So I guess it's fine for him to do it, but if it's me or you, it's not.
Yeah. So yeah,
The rules are different for the middle class,
for sure.
and we're definitely middle class.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but the thing, I've been out of work before for different things, and some fun things have popped up that I could have attended,
Mhm.
but I take it back to like middle school when it's a Friday night dance. If you call out, if you don't go to school Friday, you don't go to the dance. So that's kind of my thing. I'm like, if I've given up this, I don't, I sacrifice not having fun,
Right.
like, because just out of like it's the right thing to do. But
Yeah. Yeah, but people don't. A lot of times, people don't do the right thing either.
no, touche.
So, so the Sixers game was canceled last night because they only had 6 available players,
Yeah,
and we've been seeing this, and we've been seeing this a lot more lately.
yeah.
Will the NBA even make it to June, or whatever, or whenever it is for the finals? Like, if you're gonna keep seeing postponements of these games and teams only have 6 people available, I don't know how much longer they can withstand this. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they at some point pause and go back to the bubble system. I don't know. I mean, that worked really well and it was great. Uh, so, I could see them going back to it, but um, yeah, I don't know. I think they would try something like that before they canceled the season, but yeah, I don't know. It's getting a lot more common now.
hmm
So um, I don't know. I don't know.
and now you're seeing college games, same thing. Like,
Yeah.
there's a couple college games I saw last night that are postponed this week already, and you've had a couple
Yeah.
women's programs like the Duke's women's program and the Virginia's women's program have completely shut their season down.
Yeah.
Um, but does it have to do with COVID? Or does it have to do with they weren't having a good year anyway, and
Yeah.
they're using COVID as as the excuse?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't want to like sit here and say that, but I'm thinking it, so I'm gonna say it out loud. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because you weren't having
Well,
a good year, so we'll use COVID. Okay, well our season's over because of COVID.
yeah. Well, as I touched on a little earlier, I'm a big Michigan football fan, and it was same thing.
Yeah.
They shut down. Pretty much they only basically did half of the season, and but I was okay with it because they weren't playing great, and I couldn't take another year losing to Ohio State. So it was kind of
Well, and
sounds like they didn't lose to Ohio State this year.
yeah, because they didn't play.
so so that was like a little victory for me.
It
So,
was. It was. It was. Yeah, it's just and then what will it look like next year? Like, is this magic disease going to magically go away and we're not going to hear anything of it anymore? Like,
yeah,
I
don't know.
we don't know.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to make people get vaccine? You know what I mean? We don't know. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I always say, it's tough to predict what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone, a week or a month or,
true.
down
That's
the
true.
road. So
That's
do
true.
one day at a time,
True.
figure it out.
Okay, so will you watch Raw tonight?
I will not. I think I have to clean my teeth.
For 3 hours?
Yeah, they're pretty dirty.
Oh
So,
my god, that's funny. Yeah, I saw a little bit of a preview. I guess Alexa Bliss is gonna fight Asuka.
cool.
Yeah, like I don't even know where to start. I mean, I guess you really technically can't build with McIntyre and Goldberg yet because he's still out with COVID.
Yeah,
So I mean, he technically could show up. I think next Monday and the go home show for the Rumble.
yeah, maybe.
But whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
Does it
I don't know.
really, like we touched on a little bit yesterday? Does it really matter? You know, does anyone care to see Goldberg and Drew
No, I don't
McIntyre?
care to see Goldberg versus anybody. Like, you know, ever. I mean, I'd maybe watch like on like I'd watch like a YouTube video or like a cell phone video or security cam photo of him fighting somebody at like a food court. But I don't care to see him in a ring like ever again. I mean, I don't care.
Is their food court still around?
So, I don't know, probably not, but where the food court used to stand,
Yeah,
there
true.
was.
Yeah. Yeah. Back when the mall was actually a mall instead of like just vacant
Yeah.
stores.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, back when we had an Arby's.
Oh yeah, that's right. Arby's, and we had a Pizza Hut up there too.
Yeah, yeah.
And now that's a weed place.
And Arby's is still vacant.
Yes, we should open it up and call it Arby's.
Yeah.
We have no money though, so we can't do that.
No,
I don't really know if we want to open an Arby's anymore. I don't know.
no. Well, yeah, that's the other thing too. there are better fast food we could bring here.
True, that's true.
No offense to Arby's.
No, Arby's is great. No offense to Arby's at all, but you left Bangor for a reason, so
Yeah. Yeah.
and you haven't come back yet, so
No.
I guess whatever. All right, so we're not going to talk wrestling today because there's nothing to talk about. No one watches Raw. I don't even think our friends watch Raw anymore. I don't even think John watches it much.
Yeah.
I don't know if Scott watches it at all. I don't know if Justin watches it much, and I don't even know if Adam watches it.
Yeah, probably not.
Because it's just like we said yesterday, it's just unwatchable.
Yeah.
But this is what they want to do. When you read about them rewriting the show until 7:00 at night, and the show starts at 8.
Yeah.
That's usually not good.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen like the Pat Patterson tribute. I didn't catch that, but
they did.
yeah,
I think they just did a video about him.
yeah.
The network's supposed to be putting out a documentary about him though at some point.
Yeah.
Like a newer
That'll
one.
be- yeah.
And then all those wrestling challenges are getting released today, which I want to watch from, like when they first came out in '86. I mean, all that stuff's gold. Like, I can't wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch that stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so
one of these days, like, I'll get the network back, and
oh, that's right, you still don't have it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right, 'cause
When they cut Rusev, I
that's
was
right.
done.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's now a psycho killer on AEW, which is how it should have been booked before.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll move on to UFC. UFC 257 is Saturday night. Will you watch it?
Probably not.
Do you think McGregor beats Poirier again?
Yes. But I don't know. It's tough because I mean Connor fights like once every 2 years now, so it's like you don't
Well, he fought last January, and then he got in a pissing contest with Dana, and then he retired, and now he's back. He hasn't fought in a year. He's got a bald head like us now for some fucking reason. I saw that today on SportsCenter when Ariel Helwani interviewed him. I'm like, why is your hair short? Okay, whatever, dude.
Just wants to look good.
Yeah, I mean, bald is beautiful.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, granted, Cowboy was older.
Yeah.
And I think everyone kind of expected that to happen, but not that fast and not that bad.
Yeah.
Like Connor kicked the shit out of him literally in like 50 seconds and it was over.
Yeah.
Now this will not happen now. There's no way.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, and I love Cowboy. He's great, but Dustin, I think, will put up a better fight than the last time. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Everything's weird now. So I know they're both still in good shape, and but I have a hard time betting against Connor, like ever. So
I think we're both in agreement that we both predict Connor will win, and then these words could come back and eat us on Sunday morning when we do this again. So, which is whatever. if Connor wins, will he fight will he fight Abib in
I
2020?
don't. I don't think so. I think if Khabib comes back, I think it's to fight GSP. If,
You
you
think
know,
so?
if they well, I think that would be the only thing he would want. Like I don't think he wants another McGregor match. And I mean, he's already beat him pretty good, before. So I just, so it's not like they both have a victory and, so now we gotta,
Hmm.
go for the best 2 out of 3.
Right.
It's they, can beat him pretty good, both times. So um, I don't know. I can't imagine he would take that. You come out of it because Khabib's another guy that it's like, he's not driven. I don't think he's driven by money. I think he's driven by other things. So if he doesn't want to do it anymore, he's just not going to do it. So, and I don't know what he feels like he has left to prove. So
True. I mean, the only thing he would get would be a big payday. You know. Um, I don't know. We'll see. I guess we'll just have to see what happens. I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. I don't know. I don't even know if money drives him. Really.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, I guess we'll just have to see. I mean, do you think McGregor and Poirier goes the full? Is it 5 rounds for the main event, or will
Yeah,
it, or will it
five.
go, or will it go shorter?
I think it goes shorter. I, but yeah, I think it could be done. I don't. You never know. Like Connor, I mean, it could be done in the first round, or I I think it goes at least 3
Yeah,
this time, but I don't know.
because the
I
first
don't think it
one,
goes the distance.
because the first one went what, 1 round,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and Connor beat him pretty handily, right, in round
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah, because I think I read this morning that was Connor's fourth fight in the UFC.
yeah. And he was just running through people.
Yeah,
At that. He was because he was so psycho at that point. But
he still
um,
is.
yeah, still is. But yeah, he was like scary. But yeah, I think it'll be a better fight this time. But I still think Connor wins. So.
Yeah. Okay. So now moving on from that, we'll talk one more thing and then we'll wrap this thing up. Favorite wrestling figure as a kid?
Um, it's really not that exciting, compared to what there is now. But that first Ultimate Warrior figure, and I mean, all it did was, it's one of the ones you push down and he leaped or whatever. You got it.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it. This one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that was because he was when those figures came out. That he was my favorite wrestler at that point. So I was so excited to get that one. So I'd I'd say that one as a kid. What you?
I so I remember I think second, third grade, maybe. I think Christmas. I can't remember if my uncle got them for me, or it was my parents, or it was a combination of both. Christmas morning, I opened up and I got Series One of all the Hasbro's plus the ring.
Nice.
And I
Yeah.
can't. I don't know if my uncle Mark got that for me, or that was from my grandparents, or that was from my parents, or a combination of all three.
Yeah.
But yeah, because when we moved to Maine, they would come up for Christmas with us, and then they'd stay for like a week and then they'd go home. But I can't. I'm pretty sure it was one of them or a combination of all three. But that was like, I think I still have all the card backs somewhere too if I could find them because we
Oh,
because we saved them all. But I can't.
yeah.
I've been looking for them. I don't know if they're somewhere in my parents' house. I can't. I don't have them here. But yeah, that was. I remember that like it was like yesterday. Like I got
Yeah.
that whole Series One set, which was like Hogan, Savage,
Yeah.
DiBiase, the Demolition, Andre. I still have some of them down there that I have displayed, and I think Rick Rude was Series One. I don't know if Warrior was Series 1 or not. I can't remember.
Yeah.
He might have been. Copyright 1990, so he could have been. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. See, I was pretty fortunate. We ended up with I think at least probably all of Series 1 and Series 2 because a year and a half older than I am, and then I have two younger brothers. And so we were all into it. So it was like every year for Christmas and um, birthdays or whatever. We got the ring and all the figures and everything else. So it was kind of we got it, but we just didn't get them all at once. It was just we collected. But yeah, we always played with them, and yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean they were great. You compare it to what the figures look like now to what they did then, or the old like Robert LJN ones, and I mean it's come a long way.
yeah.
My first was Snuka.
Yeah. Oh, yours was Snuka.
Yeah, yeah,
I had Hogan with the belt, and I lost the
yeah,
belt, and I lost the belt somewhere.
yeah,
But
yeah.
and then I have this. I have a big Hulk Hogan one too. It's hold on, let me get it. I got this one,
Nice.
and that came with a belt. I don't know where that went.
Yeah,
And this was made
that's
in 80, and this was made in 85.
yeah,
And I used to bring this to the Spectrum with me when I was a kid.
nice.
And I would hold it up like this, and my dad would stand me up, and thinking I was cool. So
Yeah, it is cool.
yeah, well, it was then. It still is now, but
Yeah, right.
trying to find that now on eBay is like stupid. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're lucky you have it intact. I mean, minus the belt, but you still got the shirt and
oh yeah, the shirt, yeah, it's the page chipped off of it, and
yeah,
there's different colors on it and stuff from playing with it. But I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I know, and that's the most hair Hulk Hogan's had ever.
Ever.
If you
Yeah.
think, I mean,
Since he was 14. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we all, because that's why they never filmed him up from the top of his head because he was bald. So,
Yeah.
or they try
Yeah.
not to anyway, according to Bruce
Yeah.
Pritchard. So,
Yeah.
all right, well, I think that's going to be a wrap for this podcast today. This was fun.
Yep.
I can't wait. I can't wait to do it again on Sunday. Um, this was an idea that we've thrown around for a couple weeks now. We've been talking
Yeah,
about it,
for a little while. Yeah, for sure.
and we just were like, hey, let's just do this. Again, this is just for us. Two best friends just talking wrestling, sports, and just having fun.
Yeah.
If you like it, great. If not, then don't watch it. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Like whatever. I mean, today we didn't really, today wasn't a lot of wrestling talk like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Trying to switch it up a little bit, but we're still going to talk wrestling. We're still going to talk sports, and we're still going to have a good time. And we're going to see on Sunday what other shirt are you going to wear that says you suck somebody's dick. So,
Well, I think this is the last of the shirts. Well, I have the same version of this one, but in tie dye. It doesn't read as well. So,
gotcha.
But yeah, I think this is maybe the last shirt I have that I admit to blowing something or someone. So,
Okay, well, that's good. Okay. All right. Well, this has been the weekly wrap with Vachon and Rapp, and we are out. And see you, buddy.
take care, man. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.